Some trademark tea. Hey. Some trademark tea. Hey.
The Biz Lawyer sits down with Makita Smith of Savvy Chicks in Real Estate.
Some trademark tea. Hey. Some trademark tea.
Welcome to the Trademark Tea with the Biz Lawyer. Hi, how are you guys doing today? Now, today we're not going to talk about a new development, but we're going to talk about something that's very important in trademark law. Now, if you are thinking about knocking off somebody's brand or being a copycat, you want to be very, very careful, because under trademark law, if someone can prove that you have intentionally and willfully copied their brand and made profits from it, the court can order that you pay 3 times the profits you receive from being a copycatter or a counterfeiter or a confiscator, basically. So basically, if you have made, let's say, $100,000 in profits from someone else's brand that you have infringed upon, the court can order that you pay them $300,000 in damages because you have received those profits, basically passing off as their brand. So you want to be extra careful that you are not out there committing trademark infringement and you're copying other people's brand. Be creative. Do your own thing. Create your own lane. Now, we can all coexist in the marketplace and competition is healthy, but have your own brand. McDonald's and Burger King coexist all day, every day. Target and Walmart coexist all day, every day. So just do you. Don't do everybody else, okay? Now, going to my trademark tip, although that was a good tip anyway, but going into my trademark tip, I want to talk to people about the myth that a lot of people believe if they have their LLC or they have their domain name, that they actually own the rights to their name. Well, I am here to tell you, you do not. The only way you can own rights to your name or your brand name is through trademark law. So you want to be very careful and very cognizant that just because you have an LLC or just because you have your domain name does not give you ownership rights by law to the actual name. What gives you ownership rights to the actual name is by filing a trademark. Just think about it. You filed the LLC with your Secretary of State of, let's say, Indiana, okay? And then there's this company, they're operating out of California. Maybe they have a website, they have clients that come to them from all over the country, and they went and they filed a trademark application with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Who do you think is going to have priority? First and foremost, it's going to be the person with the broadest rights, and that's going to be the person who has filed their trademark application with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Because now they have trademark ownership not only in the state of California, but through and across the nation. And now they can stop you, or they can restrict you, or they can limit you to just your geographical area in itself. So you want to be very careful, and you want to make sure that no one else can restrict you or limit you or outbeat you with the name that you're doing business under your LLC or under your domain name. You want to truly gain ownership to it. That's why you see big brands and big companies like Nike, who just happens to be incorporated in the state of Oregon, but they actually own the trademark as well. Okay, so don't think you have covered the bases when you have not fully, but you want to make sure that you're taking all proper steps in order to secure yourself as an entrepreneur, but also secure your brand as well. Thank you.
Some trademark tea. Hey. 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 Some trademark tea. Hey.
The Biz Lawyer sits down with Makita Smith of Savvy Chicks in Real Estate.
Well, welcome to Trademark Tea, Miss Makita Smith. How you doing today?
I'm great, Rosanna. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. And congratulations on Savvy Chicks in Real Estate. And thank you for allowing us to help you secure that brand. I love the name. It's an awesome brand. Tell us how you came up with the name.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for helping me to trademark the brand so that no one can steal it and copycat from it. But how I came up with the name, it actually took me about a year to come up with the name. name. I knew that I wanted to create the brand for other real estate agents in the business, but wasn't sure what I wanted to call it. And so I kind of prayed on it. I slept on it, and then I came back. And you know, with you being a trademark lawyer, a lot of times you talk to clients and then they tell you, well, I'm not sure of the name because it's not clicking for them.
Right.
And so that name clicked for me, and I knew it's what I wanted. And so I got a trademark.
That is awesome. That's amazing. So now tell us, how long have you been actually in the real estate industry?
So I've been a licensed real estate broker in the Illinois area since 2004. So going on 19 years, a little over 19 years.
Wow, that's amazing. Now tell me, because in 2004, there really wasn't like a Facebook or Instagram around or anything like that. But tell us how you have now with social media incorporated that into your real estate business.
Oh, girl. So back then in 2004, I became a licensed real estate agent with Century 21. I started with them. The broker of that company at that time, he was a senior. So, you know, I got in and I was on fire. I wanted to make sure that I sold a property within my first year of real estate. I sold 7 homes. A lot of people tell me that that was good for my first year.
That's amazing.
But I did that just being up under his leadership. And doing that, he took me on his listing appointments. I was able to do floor calls. I was able to go on buyer's appointments with him. And he just actually showed me the ropes. And then when he received referral calls in a business or someone referred him business, he would refer it to me. And so it really helped me to get started. But now, today in 2019, it's a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have to go into the office to be able to generate business. I can just pick up my cell phone and then talk to a customer right there in my DM. So it's really changed.
Yes. And how do you teach other realtors how to reach their target market through social media? Because Savvy Chicks in Real Estate, it's a marketing and branding firm, correct?
Yes.
And so, you're targeting, even though you represent other different clients, but how do you teach realtors like how to do that same thing?
So what happened, and we have been in business for less than 2 years. So we opened up October of 2017. I registered the business with the state, filed the trademark with you, which took about a year in the process. And now with me having clients and teaching other realtors, that process has really opened up. And I help realtors because they were inboxing me and they was like, Makita, who does your marketing? Who does your brand? I'm like, I'm doing it myself.
Right.
And so for them, they're like, okay, here's a realtor who's doing exactly what I'm doing, selling homes, working with investors, but yet her social media page looks dope. Like, okay, how is she getting this engagement? How is she doing this branding? How is she even coming up with this content?
Right.
And so I use that information that I was doing for myself to begin to help other real estate agents within the business. So now I get to consult with them on their branding and their marketing, and I show them how easy it is to really come up with content, because the same stuff that we do every day, just like you with a trademark attorney, what is the most frequently asked questions that your client or your customer asks you every single day? And I help them to turn that into social media content.
Yes, that's amazing. But how important is it for real estate agents who's building a brand to actually secure that brand and protect that brand via trademark law?
Girl, I'm glad you asked, because when I have my consultations with my clients, and we come up with these dope brand names, right? So we come up, I had an agent who wanted to call herself, for an example, real estate matchmaker. And I was like, it's dope, right? But when I looked up, because I was taught by you to search the name first, I looked it up on a USPTO website, and I found out that the real estate matchmaker was already taken. And so I had to break the news to her, because she was a real estate agent, plus she was an event planner. So we were trying to merge the two businesses together to make it, you know, one personal brand. And because the real estate matchmaker was already taken, we had to come up with something else. And so now when I have my consultation with realtors, I'm telling them how important it is to protect their brand, because they want the name, but they're not willing to secure it to make sure that no one else is able to, you know, snatch it from them or build off what they're already building. So it's very important.
Yes, and she was so lucky to have you and you to be equipped with that knowledge, because a lot of people nowadays, they come up with a name and they just jump out there and they just go. And then maybe later on they'll learn, you know, someone else owned that name or something like that. So it's amazing that you did the due diligence up front to kind of let her know, it's a nice name, it's a catchy name, it's so good somebody else already own it. So let's try to pivot and do something else and turn it into something different.
Yes, and I always give them like the example. So we all know Remax, right? Remax has like agents all over the world. They're not
Right.
just, you know, in the US, but they're all over the world. And their Remax is trademark.
Yeah.
But they have a slogan called above the crowd. And so that is actually trademarked as well.
Yeah.
And so if we want to build these brands and build them up to a Remax level or a Redfin level or Century 21 level, those brands are trademarked. And
Yeah.
even their slogan and phrases are trademarked as well.
Yeah.
So I have to teach realtors, they need to do the same thing.
Yes, like
Yeah.
I always say, you know, you shouldn't build a house on land you don't own, and it's the
Yes.
same thing for your branding. You can't start building on something you don't own because it can easily be taken down or taken down one day or after, you know, at some day or at some point. So tell us, like, you know, we know you have the conference, you had the conference, Savvy Chicks and Realtors, License and Unbothered is the
Yes.
name of the conference, and you had that, and that I'm sure was absolutely amazing. Are you gonna have a year two for the conference?
Yes, so it was so amazing.
Yes.
And all the speakers were fantastic, and just everyone who came from Virginia. We had agents that come from New York, Florida, all of these different areas, even outside of the Chicagoland area. It just told me that there is a need because you have these agents who have managing brokers of their office and people that are, you know, teaching them, but yet they still seek other ways to get this knowledge to grow their business. So it just tells me that there is a void out there. And so we will have another conference next year. It will be in June, the first week of June, and we are going to make sure that it is just as fantastic and
Yes.
subject to get even better, but it would be 2 to 3 days rather than a one-day conference.
Yes, and I believe if you hold any type of license, not just a realtor, you definitely should be at this conference because you guys cover topics from just investing, you know, women just investing, how to put together your brand properly, how to secure your brand properly, how to protect your finances properly. So, you know, even though it's a conference targeted towards real estate agents, I believe any professional licensed woman or entrepreneurial woman should definitely be in attendance. So you guys did an amazing job.
Thank you, because we can all be licensed and unbothered, right?
Exactly. And we got to make sure we get that one on lock too very
Yes.
soon. Yes. So thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate your feedback, your input, and hopefully, you know, our viewers who are real estate agents or in the real estate industry, they got an understanding on why it's important to secure your brand even in the real estate industry.
Yes, thank you, Rosina, so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Makita. Take care.
Some trademark tea. Hey, 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 some trademark tea.
So welcome to the Biz Lawyer living room, where I am here to serve you this tea, this trademark tea. And this trademark tea, it's actually piping hot, okay? I mean piping hot. Say it with me, piping hot, okay? Actually, it's some good hot stuff. So let's talk about this trademark tea for the day. So did you guys know that Gabrielle Union trademarked her baby clothing line that she did a deal with New York and Company called Shady Baby? Isn't that cute? Shady Baby. But guess what? She's not the only mommy mogul trademarking her baby's name. Kylie has trademarked her baby name. Kim Kardashian has trademarked those little dash names, those Dashians' name. Well, I guess they will be Dashian West names for, you know, they daddy. And then also Jay-Z and Beyonce, they trademarked Blue Ivy, and they're still having that little battle right now with Blue Ivy's name against the lady who trademarked her wedding planning business after Blue Ivy was born and after Jay-Z and Beyonce filed for their first application for Blue Ivy name. And at the time when it was time for the twins to arrive, Jay-Z and Beyonce played no games with trademarking the twins' name just so they wouldn't have to go down that same turmoil and that weather storm that they're going through right now for Blue Ivy name. So if you have some kids and you're going to put your kids in a business, or your kids are going to be a part of popular culture, you probably want to make sure that you actually not only name those kids, but you actually trademark those names, especially if you're going to be using those names as it relates to products and services. So that's the piping hot trademark tea for you today. I hope you guys learned a lesson out of that, but make sure that you also secure the brand at all times.
Some trademark tea. Hey, 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 some trademark tea.
Thank you all for tuning in to Trademark Tea. I really appreciate you all. And in the living room, we like to close out, but before we close out, we would like to give you all inspiration. Entrepreneurship can be very hard. I have been an entrepreneur full-time for 6 years now. And what I want to leave you with and what I want to tell you is that it will not be easy, but it's so worth it. And I want to tell you, anytime you're coming up against these obstacles and mountains, you want to just push through and push past them. That's the way you're going to survive this game. I know it can be hard, it can be testing, it can be trying sometimes, but as long as you keep going and keep pushing through, it will eventually, you will see and you will reap the rewards. There's Sarah Blakely. She is the creator and the founder of Spanx. And Sarah Blakely received so many no's before she received that one yes. And all it takes is that one yes to take your business to where it needs to go. So don't give up at no number 1 or no number 3 or no number 5. Heck, I don't even think Sarah gave up at no number 123. So you definitely want to just keep pushing and keep pushing through. Entrepreneurship, it's not easy, but it's so worth it. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Trademark Tea. We like you, we love you, and we want you to come back. Have a great night.